Let's go. Let's get this rolling. So, welcome back, everybody, to season 5 of PCP, the Pucacirclepodcast. I am currently recording this at 2:01 a.m. It wouldn't be me if I wasn't doing this at the very last minute. But no, not really. It's not the last minute. I like actually doing a lot of my podcast at night, by the way, if you haven't noticed by now. And at night is just I get more in tune with my thoughts. I'm able to think more. I'm a little bit more creative. I consider myself a night owl. But I just want to say thank you, everyone, for tuning in. This is season 5. Shout out to three people that have gotten me gifts so far. First, to my niece Paulette for giving me the Puka Circle podcast cup. Nice and simple, which is beautiful from her. And from Paula and Jimmy, for the mug. It's very nice. I do appreciate that. And it's funny that it's red because this is what puka actually means in Quechua. But yeah, let's get season 5 rolling. I know a lot of you have seen me post a lot of mixed things on my stories lately, and a lot of you are like, "Oh, this kid's probably fucking depressed. Keeps talking about being in a horrible position in life, or just I don't know." A lot of assumptions on that part, and I wouldn't blame you for assuming that because you're 50% correct. Am I depressed right now? I want to say proudly that I have gotten out of that stage, and I'll be talking about that later on in the podcast. But this episode is going to be very short. I just want to discuss what's going to be in store for season 5. What are my goals? What do I want to aim with this season specifically? And I'm not working with Anthony in this season because he's getting his basement done. But if you have some time, he's also started up his project, and I'm very proud of him. It's called the Blazer Vision Media. So definitely drop him a follow. I'll be putting his thing up here. He's been working on this for a while now, and he was able to go into season 4 with me as a partner, and I hope he learned a lot and was able to, make connections and things that he did and didn't want to do for his project. And his first episode's out, and it's very good, well formatted. The lighting's very beautiful. I just want to give him his flowers on that part because he was an amazing co-host, was able to just not just give me a space, but able to give me advice, able to push me, able to, sometimes having a person there is very beneficial because when someone's in the same idea, the same spectrum of wanting to do something, it makes life a lot easier. And that's also why I believe this season is going to be very beautiful because I think somehow, without even knowing it, God placed Anthony perfectly for me in season 4 because I don't think season 4 would have gotten done or done completely if it wasn't for Anthony. And we're going to be talking about that a little bit more down the episode. But first, I just want to get you guys up to date on what I'm looking to do for season 5. And pardon me that I'm looking at my phone. It's just that this is where I have most of my ideas written. And if you look at my Instagram bio, if you ever honestly taking a look, this is also shout out to Anthony because he's a person that has made me understand that there needs to be kind of just like a business, just like any kind of business. I don't know if you guys have ever started up a business, went to any kind of business classes in school, but you need a mission statement, right? A mission statement of like, where is your project, your business, your idea what is it looking to form? And at first, I believe mine was kind of very basic. It was just like a man with a dream looking to talk about life and get different perspectives. And I'm not saying that it wasn't a good one, or I don't think Anthony was also saying that, but he wanted me to be a little bit more like like when you're reading a book, you want the reader, or the viewer in this situation to know like, hey, this is what this podcast focuses on. This is what its pillars are. Like, this is what it needs, what it will always be doing in every episode. So in this season five, that's kind of what I'm looking to do. Honestly, it's gonna be a lot of solo episodes this season because I kind of want to. There's a lot of things that I believe that this season's going to do for me mentally, but also hopefully for you viewers, help you in not making the same mistakes I did. You know, I know I talk about a lot of positivity, a lot of using good tools and resources to, enhance your life and make your life better and making the right choice. But what we don't talk about a lot is the people that fuck up, the people that make the bad choices, the people that don't make the smartest financial choice, and how that comes to bite you in the ass, especially when when you're in especially when people depend on your paycheck, especially when you know that you're not the bread source winner, but like there's very it's especially when your paychecks gets cut very thin, right? And I've been very smart and luckily fortunate to make things work out for me. But this is where we're going to talk about a little bit. Like I said, it's all going to be followed up later down the line of the episode. But like I said, the main pillars of what I want to talk about in the beginning, the whole reason I went into this, sorry, is the pillars, right? So my pillars are personal development, life lessons, relationships, and adulthood. Because we're all growing up, we're entering that stage of real adulthood. No more really, well, not no more making mistakes, because we'll always make mistakes in life, and that's the whole purpose of this season, is talking about those mistakes and how do we not make those mistakes, or how do we bounce back from those mistakes. What do we do to give ourselves another chance, another fighting chance? And I thought about this for a while, and it's tough kind of opening up to you guys in the internet. I'm opening up my life up to the internet, but I'm choosing to be vulnerable in this situation because I feel like a lot of people. I know I'm not alone. I know a lot of people that are going to hear this. This may benefit you in some way because, like I said, like I always say in my podcast, not everyone's handed the great, cards of, no one's handed a deck of cards that are all amazing cards for you to win. Where each card in that deck represents good and bad. And lately, that is what I had to overcome, is a lot of bad cards in my life, and depression, to be honest with you, because it's been a while since you know what the fucking hard part about everything is, you don't know how quick and how mysterious depression might hit somebody. And usually I have a good like a good hold of my mental health, knowing where I am in my life. But like I talked about in the previous last two seasons, you guys, I've been open with you guys. I've gone through a breakup, and we're gonna go straight right into it. So those are the pillars. That's the whole thing that I'm looking to do for season five. I want to go straight into it because I want to make sure that I get all my points across in my thoughts. And the pillars are supposed to represent every stage or little things that I do in my life. So personal development, obviously, it's something that you never stop doing. Um, it's something you have to work on yourself every day. You don't have to do it as much as like a Kobe Bryant, like Mamba mentality, but you should want to improve your life at least a small percentage every day, or look or strive to do something different. That like if you went to work unhappy on Monday, you know, live with it. That's fine. We're fucking human, At the end of the day, we're not gonna be fucking smiling and happy every fucking day. I know I say that you should start your day in a positive way, but there are those days, and pretending sometimes isn't the best outlet to go to. Sometimes you need to sulk on that day. But remember, like what I'm saying is personal development is having an L day for a Monday, but bouncing back by starting your day off right, good. Treat yourself on Tuesday. Go get yourself breakfast, like if you didn't do it Monday. Get yourself a nice iced coffee, do something different that's going to change your perspective in that. So that's all I want to focus on personal development with that pillar. Life lessons. You know, we all have life lessons. I want to share a lot of them today. I'm going to be sharing them a lot in the rest of the season. I'm going to have guests that will be talking about things that they had to overcome, triumphs that they had to basically not settle with, or talk to them how they, went about things. It's not everyone just goes to therapy. People find ways and outlets on how they can, get better from those, bumpy roads down in their life path. So we're going to hopefully be having some good guests this season, new ones as well to talk. Maybe some, ones that I've already had, but they have stories that they want to share. I have friends that are, you know, that beat cancer. I have friends that lost a parent. I have friends that have been in a horrible incident, and guests that you have already seen, but we haven't talked about that part. And it should be something that you all hear, because like I said, I know that we all share something in common, and that's going through shit in life. So like I said, that's a second pillar. Third is relationships, and relationships can be very broad. Relationships can be relationships with yourself, knowing how to talk to yourself, knowing how to talk to friends, family. That's something that it's very impactful for me these last couple of weeks. And like I said, I'll be sharing that story with you guys, and it's crazy. Um, it's crazy how I bounced out of this depression, and what made me really realize, like, fuck, I got to get my shit together. So I'll be talking about that. But relationships is key. So that's another pillar of my podcast. And the last pillar that I have there is adulthood. And at first I wasn't going to put adulthood, but when I really thought about it, um, I don't know if you guys have seen like memes about this or like quotes about this, that you don't feel your age a lot of the times, right? Like you're like you with like to give you a simple scenario, when we were freshmen going into high school, right, and we saw those seniors, they looked like seniors to us, like what we thought a senior should look like for some odd reason. But then when we became seniors, I don't know if this resonates with all of you. I didn't feel like that guy that I looked at when I was a freshman, if that makes sense. And not from a maturity level or a physical level. I don't know. And I wonder if those seniors felt the same way. You got what I'm saying? So by adulthood, I mean like coming to an understanding that life is just flashing by so quick, that sometimes we take too many detours in our lives, that we don't realize that like we should be enjoying the process of growing up, the process of, some people are at the stage in my age having kids, closing on a mortgage. um and I'm not saying that I haven't done the mortgage part, but there's a story to everything. um and my situation and my story is completely different from yours, and fucked up, and there's so many fucked up stuff that happens in my life to be where I am today. But I truly believe God gave me some choices back in the day that I didn't take, and due to those bad choices I made back in the day, I'm in the situation I am now. But this is how thankful and grateful I am that God is here, and I know He hasn't abandoned me, because the amount of fuck ups I had or bad choices I made in the past, I honestly feel like I should be in a lot worse than I am now, in a position way worse than I am now, but I'm not. It's easy to just say like, oh, like this is it for me, like I fucked up, but we're gonna get into that. So that's also why I put adulthood. So those are my pillars. So basically, yeah, my pillars, and I at the end I throw something cliche. I always say bet on yourself, because Why bet on others when you can bet on yourself to live your dream, try your best to accomplish something, and achieve it? And how much, how we get goosebumps watching our teams win a championship, or we see somebody that we really love do something amazing. Like, why don't we bet on ourselves, you know, fucking do the impossible and just be that person that we're happy for, So yeah, that those are the pillars of the podcast. But let's get straight into now the story. This episode, I know this episode is going to be called "I Fucked Up," and the reason the title is because I want to share a story on how I got depressed in just the middle of the podcast of season 4. Had no idea that I was even depressed, and what made me recently bounce back. So obviously, you guys, like I said, I shared before. Um, I went through a breakup, and the person that I was dating was very, and still is someone that I care for a lot, have a lot of respect for, a beautiful human being. Losing that person, I really feel like when I self reflected down the line, I realized, again, like I said, I made a lot of bad choices in my life where I feel like that person also, I didn't do the best to be the best version of myself. I let myself go a lot because I was dealing with a lot of stress. And because I was dealing with a lot of stress, I felt like that was justified on not performing the best of being a boyfriend, and that goes down to like being sympathetic, um, being caring, being someone that is going to be there for your partner no matter what. Even when you have your bad days, you should always try to be there for your partner no matter what. Um, and I, like I said, and there were some other things too of why we broke up, but that's between me and that person. But it put me down a really bad spiral, and I thought I was handling it really well because I was like, you know what, I've handled really tough scenarios before, but I didn't realize that life was also adding more bullshit to me, like things that are outside of my control. To be honest with you, more things that I really don't kind of want to share here because it has to do a lot with family, putting me in positions where I found it easier to push away and say I'm not going to get involved in that until it becomes and you would think that I would know this by now. Running away or putting your back to a situation doesn't solve anything, not one bit. And that's one of the lessons I want you guys to take out of this is running away from problems will never be a solution to anything. It will come back to haunt you. Not tomorrow, maybe not a month from now or a year from now, but it could come and harm you a couple of years from now. And that's kind of what happened to me. I got put in a position where I started getting stressed out. And on top of that, like I said, the breakup happened. And little by little, I didn't realize that I was falling down this path of kind of getting depressed because financially, also, I'll be honest with you guys, when you get depressed, when you get out of a breakup and you get out of a shitty situation, you tend to lean to, hey, let me treat myself, let me do this to help, the sadness, not hit me that hard. And what I started realizing is that I started getting into financial hardships where and I'm usually really good at this. I'll be honest with you. I'm usually a person that when the bills come, I have a planner. And in my planner, if I know I'm not going to be able to pay a certain bill, I'll do whatever the fuck I need to do to make sure that bill gets paid. What does that mean? I'll DoorDash, I'll Uber Eats, I'll get a second job, even if it's temporary, but I'll do whatever I need to do. And what I started noticing was I didn't do that. I didn't do that. And for some odd reason, in my head, I was going to dip into my savings and I said, I'll worry about it another day. Or I'll bounce out of this weird, down, this real, this bad mood that I'm in. And week after week, I kept saying that. Next thing I know, it's like 4 months after my fucking breakup, and my savings is fucking gone. You know what I mean? And some of you are gonna say, "Oh, what the fuck? You didn't have that much money." First of all, we all live different lives. You cannot judge me because you don't know what I have to do. I take care of my parents. I'm in a position where I take care of my parents. Um, I had a car at the time that I was financing, which wasn't the smart part. And hear me out. I've solved that situation, but I started noticing like the bills were like piling up on me, and I usually have plans for everything. I usually have backup plans. I'm usually a smart guy when it comes to my financing. But this time I found myself in a bit of a really shitty situation because the plan I usually do to help me if I get into a situation like this is um, I usually do something with transferring, and it didn't work this time because I let my bills get piled up, because I didn't have the money anymore to put in my savings. I wasn't able to do this little trick that I do, and it really fucked me up. It really fucked me up, and it put me in a spot now that I was like, fuck, um, am I gonna be okay? And to be honest with you guys, I fell, and that's what I'm telling you. It creeps in, right? Because on top of all this, the family problems, me being sad and upset, life just coming at me in and I wasn't happy in my position. Um, I was like, fuck, fuck, fuck. I'm like, what am I gonna do? I was getting really stressed out, and then next thing I know is that my credit's taking a hit, my DTI is really high, and I either have to, and usually, right, you like by that time, getting a second job wasn't really gonna help me. The reason is because I should have had a second job within the first, like I said, when I have a planner, so I can catch up by doing all these things. But by the time I noticed and woke up from not, and I wasn't even awake yet, I was just in my depression still, but aware now of what the fuck I just did. It's like it was way too late. It was way too late to reverse any of this, and I didn't want to talk to anybody about this. And one person that I did talk to is some of my friends, and they're like, "Yeah, man, just go to do your thing, what you got to do." But I don't know, man. It didn't really help at all. And next thing I know, I'm freaking out. I'm begging God for an answer, an outlet, and I knew at that point I wasn't. Like I said to you guys, I wasn't happy at my job, but I was definitely content because I knew that if I waited, I would be able to be a position of higher caliber in that department. I just needed to wait a year. I needed to wait until 2025, and I would be okay. But I didn't have that option anymore. I didn't. I had to leave a company that I didn't really want to leave. To be honest with you, I did it because of necessity. I needed more money. A job. I applied to a job, and it worked out for me. And you'd think things are going to turn around, but when you're transitioning for a job, you're losing your health care in the beginning. That doesn't kick in right away. And of course, I got sick. Um, Not anything major. I just got sick, and then next thing I know, I'm calling out of this new job in transitioning, so I don't get a day pay there. And of course, when I joined, they had already gotten paid the week that I was training, right? And I only started like that Thursday, so I didn't get anything. And what I thought was going to be paid out to me for my other job wasn't as much as I thought it was, because I also decided to be an idiot and take a week off. And like I said, man, it's that depression that hit me and this is how I finally realized I was depressed, because I wasn't being smart about anything anymore. Like I knew I was in this shithole position, and I was just letting it happen. It was very odd. I don't usually do that. Anyone that knows me, I hope, can vouch and say that, you're not, I know I'm goofy sometimes. I know I joke around, but like I said, I take care of my parents. People depend on my paycheck, you know, especially now, and if you really know my situation, you know that I'm a person that always will get his necessities done. Like my responsibilities and my necessities will always get done and met. But in this man, I really I got lost. I didn't know who I was looking at in the mirror anymore. You know, I was someone that, and I didn't show it to anybody. I just put on a smile or a laugh and pretending like everything was gonna be okay. And then I wrote down. Then like I said, I decided to finally wake up. And when I was realizing things, I wrote down all my like my budget and my bills, and I started breaking down, man. It was bad because I knew I had fucked up really bad, and there was no more. There was no one. I didn't want to reach out to anybody. I didn't want to reach out to anybody because I was too prideful, and I was too proud to say that. I, like I don't know what the hell. What voice was in my head that told me like, yo, like, reach out. Like I don't know. I really can't tell you. Not even till today. I don't know why I didn't ask for help. I know there were people in maybe my family that could have helped, and I just didn't. I'm being honest with you guys. I'm being completely vulnerable, 100%. I let my negativity fucking eat me alive. No diddy. I still got to be funny. I still got to try to be funny. And it finally came down to finally telling somebody, and the realness of my situation. I was basically going to tell my parents that, well, I had a one-on-one with my mom, and I said to her, hey, listen, um, I told her, I'm like, hey, I fucked up. This is the situation we're in. And next thing I know, I'm like fucking bawling out like I'm like a 5-year-old again, and expecting to hear like, oh my God, David, like what the fuck did you do? Like, um, but I didn't get that. My mother heard me out, and this is where my mom's always been clutch. Anyone that knows my mom knows that she loves me, but I think that's what I needed. I think that's also what God wanted me to do from the very beginning, was express, like, just let this, because next thing I know, I find myself telling her everything. When I did break up with my girlfriend, obviously my mom found out, not because I told her, but because my nieces told her, because my nieces found out from me first. I was able to tell them more just because I didn't want them. They had like a kind of a communication with my ex girlfriend, and I just didn't want them like bothering her, like if there was something. So I told them right away, and I think they found out that way. Um, but there was something proud of me that never really wanted to tell my mom. I don't know why. I have this, like, it could be the Spanish thing where you feel like it's machismo, and like you don't want to let out your feelings in front of your mother or people that that depend on you. I just didn't want to say anything. But the moment that I told her about the financial situation, I started telling her about the breakup and why I let this happen. Like, I was like, the breakup, this family situation. I told her everything, and bro, when I tell you this, like, shit was so weird. And it was very hard for me to stop crying. She just hugged me and said that everything was gonna be okay. That that fuck fuck. I don't want to cry. That we've been through worse. We've came from worse to be where we are now. And when she said that and it's true, we've come through worse. We've experienced experienced real poverty in our lives, you know, she said, we're gonna make it work out, and she had my back no matter what. And it was like a relief, man. It was like such a fucking relief to hear those words for once, that, because usually I say that to myself. I usually say that to myself, and I feel some kind of relief, but coming from her, and her reassuring me that it's gonna be all right, and I know you're gonna bounce back from this, it fucking opened my eyes. Like I'm not even trying to joke with you. This is also why I truly believe that God is real, because the moment I was real with her and let everything out, it's like he knew that that was needed for me to bounce back. And by that I mean it's like I changed from that hour of talking to her to the next hour I was on my phone bouncing back to, all right, I believe you, and I know, like it was the old me locked up inside, deep inside me, like just letting my body be an autopilot. That's how I can describe to you my depression was. I was aware of everything that was going on, but I was not the pilot to my body. And I started to get glimpses of me again when, I'm not going to really tell you too much in detail, but I had a conversation um, with my ex for closure, which was amazing, amazing closure. Like I said, we both respect each other, and it's ironic to say this, but it was a good breakup. But I started to be that old me, the me, not the me with her, but like who I want, like who I described in the beginning, someone that is responsible, someone that knows what he wants, someone that gets his shit done no matter what. And I started fighting. And when I finally was able to tell my mother, that was me who wanted to come out all the time, like, and be like, I need to tell you something, but I just, every time I wanted to tell her, I choked up. Like I just kept this serious face, like my autopilot version. But the moment I told her, man, I fucking believed it. I said, you know what? You were 100% right. We did come from much worse. I remember where we came from. I remember sharing a room with my parents until I was like fucking 13. I remember being in a room filled with my cousins because that's how we made it. I remember random people babysitting me because my mom and my dad were working long hours. I remember my mom barely eating when she needed to feed us when my dad lost her job, my dad lost his job. I remember all that. So for me to have fucking at one point to basically have almost accepted defeat, I was so not ashamed, but I was so like, what the fuck am I doing? And when she hugged me, I'm like, fuck, I can do this. I can bounce back and be this person that I always knew I could be. And by that, I mean, I got my shit together, man. I made some phone calls to, I sadly have to, I'll be honest with you guys, I have to dip into my 401k. But because of that, because I was able to, and this is why I'm telling you, God has a plan, because God is still having my back. Because even though I made those bad choices, it's like God knew that if I was tempted by those bad choices, I would still have an outlet for where my situation is today to get out of it. Thanks to my 401k, thanks to me hustling now, I work a second job. I have a plan. I sold my fucking car. I downgraded. I found ways to get my insurance cheaper. I'm cutting off all stupid expenses. I'm basically not going out for the last couple of weeks. I gave up on bad habits. I'm changing my life around. And now and I'm going to be okay. I'm if anything, I'm actually better than I was before when I wasn't in that financial situation or that hardship. And well, I will be in a couple of weeks when everything finally settles, and I'm gonna still continue working that second job no matter what. But I'm gonna be okay. And the moral of this story is, it's basically to tell you is like, even when your back's against the wall, even when you feel like everything's going to shit, ask for help. Talk to somebody. You never know sometimes, because like I said, when you're when you're depressed, you're like an autopilot and you're just watching your life go past you, and you don't fucking, you have no control of your body. You're just letting that person invade your space and just do whatever the fuck he wants. And the worst part is, especially when that person does nothing, which that's what I was doing, I would just go home. And it started, I don't want to get too much into details, but I would just go home, not do anything, go to sleep, and do the same thing over and over. And all problems, when you fix them, sometimes the solution isn't pretty. I had to leave a job that I greatly liked. And like I said, that's like, you don't know how good that place was until you leave. I miss the people that I used to work with. They were like family. You get solutions put you in a sink or float situation sometimes too, because now, I mean, things are working out so well. I mean, things are working out well in this new job, but still, you don't know how that's going to happen. You don't know what's going to happen, but I'm going to make the best opportunity out of this. And I'm continuing to find other ways of making passive income, being active with my brain, being active with finding better ways of making money than just using my time. It's time to fucking wake up, and that's it all. And it's crazy that you guys are going to say this, but that this has all happened within like a 30-day span of me waking up, realizing. That's what I'm saying. You're 50% right if you guys think I'm depressed. I'm not anymore. I was completely. I also had like a midlife crisis turning 30, not having the person that I really wanted to be there the whole day, but coming to acceptance, that closure conversation. I was able to say what I needed to say, hear what I needed to hear, and accept that this is the outcome. Life still continues. Every day still happens, no matter what. That's why I tell you, use my experience as an experience for you to know that even when shit gets fucking hard and shit just goes down really bad, talk to somebody, ask for help. You never know who might give it to you. It's better than just fucking sitting there and accepting defeat. Because if I didn't have that conversation with my mother, I truly don't know what kind of decisions I would have to have been forced to make. And by that I mean, like, I'll be honest with you guys. If it came down to me just fucking everything up, I mean, we're talking about like looking into having my parents have to go back to their country, moving into a fucking bedroom apartment, giving up my dog. And all this, I'm thankful for the one person that I say thank you to every single day. Fuck, man. And this is where it's okay to get a little emotional. But I'm grateful that my brother, Shane, bought a house, was able to rent it to me at a price that it's incredible. I owe that guy the world. And I'll never forget that. You know how I feel about that motherfucker, so fuck you. Got me crying in here. But relationships, that's what I mean. A brotherhood that I got his back no matter what. That guy I'll take a bullet for any day. Him and his mom, his dad, his family. Beautiful people. And that's what I'm telling you, God is definitely real. There's no way. There's no way he's not. The people that I have surrounded myself with is a fucking blessing, man. You have no idea. My brothers are people that I would die for any day. Without a question. Certain people in my group any day, without a question. When just to give you an idea, when I had the breakup, I called my bros. I need you guys here, even if it's just to fucking stand here and talk shit. They came. Certain people need money. Certain people are gonna get it, especially if I can trust them. And I think I should have asked someone, but I'm glad I didn't, because at the same time, I needed my own path. I needed to do what I needed to do. Like I said, I'm not to pat myself too much, but I'm a smart individual that knows how to get his shit done, how to manipulate certain things to make sure that it works. And now I'm going to be good. With everything that happened, I'm going to be good. It's a real serious intro to season 5, but I wanted you guys to hear my story first. And I hope you guys can take it as a life lesson, man, because I once had a property basically under my name, had a home, didn't have to worry about much, and I walked away from it because shit got real, and it didn't get better. And maybe if I decided to have stayed and worked things out, even if it was going to get worse than it was when I was fucking shitting bricks basically at that point, I might have been able to do something. My life might have been a little bit easier. But that'll always be a lesson in my life to never again. It needed to be reintroduced into me because I ran away from another situation, which I said is the financial shit. Like I said, you can't run away from something for too long. It tends to repeat itself if you do, or it finds a new way of entering your life. But yeah, that's all I really have to say for the intro for episode 1 of season 5. I hope a lot of you that are young, if you are young listening to this, Bro, reach for the fucking stars, man. Don't accept mediocre. Don't just do something because someone told you to do it. Follow your dreams as much as you can, because I'd rather be unhappy and broke doing what I love than unhappy and broke doing what I hate. From now, I'm going to change everything again. It's watch me do it. It's never too late. I'm a 30-year-old that's going to start chasing his dream again and doing whatever I need to do to get as much money and buy my property again and do what I can to have a better second half. And I hope you guys all do too. I hope everyone that's suffering from depression finds help, or I just encourage you to go look for help. Use my platform if you need to. If you want to come talk on the podcast, please do. We all have a different struggle. Everyone does. We are not cut from the same cloth in the beginning. But we all have similar dreams. We all dream about wanting something big. We want financial freedom. We want to be happy. We want to find love. We want friends that care for us and vice versa. We want a stable family. But like I said, not everyone has all of those. Not everyone can check those boxes. I apologize for crying, but it's just me being real. Like I said from the very beginning, it's something that I've always wanted to do on the pod, is just be 100% with every single one of you. And this is just my story. Thank you guys for watching. Episode 2 will come out in 2 weeks. And then from there on, it will be every week. I'm still trying to work this little studio that I have here. It's not much. The black curtain, some chairs. But I'm missing some furniture pieces. And that's coming soon as well. Which is why after this episode 2 will not come out until like the 3rd week in June. But yeah. Thank you guys so much. Enjoy the rest of your June. And until next time, see you guys around.